So we're here at Brightview Weir on the Lockyer Creek in southeast Queensland. Now this is one of many barriers across this waterway, and the Lockyer Creek is one of the major tributaries of the Brisbane River catchment. When they built this barrier back in probably in the 1970s, we'll have to have a look at the date on that one, they knew even back then that native fish need to migrate as part of their life cycle. Juvenile fish that were spawned downstream need to migrate upstream into nursery areas, and adult fish need to migrate down and up as part of their natural reproduction cycle. Barriers like this break breeding cycles and can result in local extinctions of fish and inbreeding because populations get separated. Now they knew back then when they built this about fish needing to migrate, and they built in a fish ladder. Now probably not the best design, but it was probably pretty good for its day. This fish ladder is a style where fish actually need to jump from all of these pools, from pool to pool when there's water flowing through. And there's better designs now around that are better for native fish, called vertical slot fishways, where fish don't necessarily need to jump. They can just swim from pool to pool, use their burst speed for a short distance to get up into the next pool. So basically, instead of having to jump up, you get a series of whirlpools where fish can race up into the next pool, rest in a little low pressure system in a whirlpool, regain their strength, and then move up to the next pool, making their way past this barrier. Now, since then, there's been virtually zero maintenance done on this fishway. Now they acknowledged it back in the 70s, probably when this was built. And this one here, as you can see, it's full of rock. There's woody debris in there. Now no fish can actually use this even if they wanted to. Now there is native fish that can use fishways like this, like eels, mullet can, spangle perch. Maybe some of the gudgeons might be able to, but it's pretty difficult for them. None of the species like our popular recreational species like bass, jungle perch are locally extinct now. The Brisbane River cod was once common here. They're totally extinct as a species. But there's been efforts to reproduce or replace the Brisbane River cod with Mary River cod, which is critically endangered itself. But those efforts are kind of up against it when there's all these barriers. This is just one of them on the Lockyer Creek that prevent fish movement. Now, Mary River cod have got zero chance of migrating through this. We've also got threatened lungfish here in this catchment, and again, they can't migrate up and down because of this. They go over that, there, if they hit that, they're dead, it'll smash them, and they've got zero chance of moving up. Now what's needed is, firstly, clean this fishway out. Give those fish that can make it up and over these jumps, give them half a chance of getting through. Right now, they have no chance of getting through that. Clean this out, and you know what? A little bit, it wouldn't take much. You could almost convert this fishway to a more friendly passage for native fish. Wouldn't take much. Now, the owners of this previously, probably Sunwater, and now looking at the sign up on the road, it's Seckwater that own this. They need to put their hand up, take some responsibility, and do something about this. Fish passage is critical, and it's not as if the fish can take a detour. They can't go around. That's it. So when they migrate up, as part of their instinct and their natural breeding cycle, they migrate up to here. They get to that and they can't go any further. Now when we walked down here just a few minutes ago, there was birds everywhere feeding on these fish because they get trapped. The amount of fish that is here gets compressed or congregated, and it's a field day for the birds. So we get threatened and endangered fish get knocked off, juvenile fish get knocked off in what is a very unnatural scenario. And then when the flows stop, you end up with a plunge pool here full of fish, and that stops running, and all those fish, because they can't go anywhere else, they start to consume all their oxygen, and you end up with fish kills. So the owners of this need to take some responsibility, not just this one. There's scores and scores. There's something like 60,000 illegal barriers, and this, if this was built in modern days, this would be deemed under current legislation to be so illegal they wouldn't allow it to happen. But they won't. It's not retrospective on barriers, so they're not making them go through. But at some stage, this weir is going to reach the end of its life, and it'll have to get removed. In the meantime, we got fish that are struggling to just survive, let alone thrive. So this needs something done about it, and needs it done pretty soon. So here's a shout out to the Queensland government that ultimately can force operators of these barriers and the water extraction programs. They could force them to retrofit this. Just a stroke of the pen from the minister, and this can be fixed. Pure and simple.